Powell. And like if you guys are watching the end of the Dylan Brooks one at number 14, I said, wow, this is great. I love it. There's a Canadian factor here. We're at the Canadian player. And then we're talking about an underrated Canadian not Canadian, but a Raptor player for the only Canadian basketball team. And now we have the former number one overall pick, probably going to be the second best Canadian all time, potentially behind Nash, or had the potential at one point of his career to do that. With Andrew Wiggins, still a great player, still gets 20 points per game.
Yeah, Andrew Wiggins, again, a guy who I believe you had in your top 10, if I'm not mistaken.
I had him at 10th.
Yes,
10th. That's it.
So still your top 10. It's a guy a lot of people probably have around that area because you know what Andrew Wiggins obviously has the potential to do. I just feel like Andrew Wiggins, he never lived up to that full potential, and he's not going to in Golden State. Sure, it has been limited time in Golden State we've seen him, but in that limited time we've seen him, like it didn't look like a good player. I just don't think it's going to be that good either. He needs
that whole team didn't look like a good player last year.
Of course, but with that being said, that team needs Steph Curry to be healthy to succeed, and to rely on one guy to have success, who knows how that's going to be. If Steph Curry goes down, to say Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre are going to step up and be the guys, like I don't think they have it in them because Andrew Wiggins hasn't had it.
Yeah, but with the full season of Oubre, with the full season of Oubre and Wiggins still putting up his usual career numbers, and Draymond Green actually caring, and those young players getting one more year of experience, that's still a borderline playoff team.
I would say definitely. Borderline. I would say not because Minnesota.
I would say like 10th seed, 9th or 10th seed. I just mean like they're not 15th like they were last year.
I mean, maybe not 15th, but I wouldn't even say they're borderline playoff. Just again, Minnesota they weren't a borderline playoff team last year. I would rather Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins over Kelly Oubre and Andrew Wiggins any day, whether you have Draymond Green or not. Minnesota overall had a much deeper team, and they still struggled in the West. So personally, like I'm just pretty down on Andrew Wiggins. He was 7th in points among shooting guards with 22 points per game, rebounds at a decent pace, 5 rebounds a game. A lot of that is because he does play a lot of small forward. He is a bigger shooting guard. Obviously, he passes the ball about to 3.7 assists. It's always been the knock on him. He's not aggressive. He doesn't seem like he wants to be out there half the time. And when we already talked about a guy like Draymond Green who adds that to Golden State, like now you have two guys who, when you're not doing well, they don't want to be out there.
Yeah, but you're talking about worst case scenario.
I'm talking about the scenario.
The most likely scenario is that team comes back. Even without Klay Thompson, they're still a top 5 seed in the Western Conference. And Curry still ends up being a top 10 player in this league. He's going to play this year. He's going to be healthy. That's probably what's going to happen. They didn't play him last year for a reason. He played very, very little when he did play. Green is probably going to he's going to succeed to a certain extent. He's going to go back to being to trying at the very least, because whenever Curry's on the court, at least he tries. And we seem to think that just because they had such a bad year last year, they had horrible players playing. Their 10 players deep was not deep at all. They had maybe 3 or 4 players that actually deserved to be on NBA squads, and then a bunch of players that deserve to be on NBA squads but not really get minutes. I see this team, Golden State, being very successful next year. I think that we just underestimate the power of Steve Kerr because of the year last year. Don't underestimate the power of Steve Kerr. Wiggins has never been in a stable system like the Golden State Warriors system is. I think he's going to thrive there. I think he's going to succeed there. And let's be real though, if Wiggins actually went all the way to his ultimate potential, then he'd be a top 5 shooting guard in this league, or top 5 small forward. He'd be a top 20 player. That was his potential. I don't know if he's going to get to that level, but I definitely think he's still a top 10 player in his position, just because he does do all these different aspects of it, and his defense is improved compared to what it was before. He's going to have one of his best years of his career, if not the best year of his career. Even if his numbers go down a little bit. We're talking earlier about how potentially Oubre and Wiggins can use this as a rivalry to see who's going to become that second best, that second threat to score on that team. And then whenever Klay Thompson comes back next year, maybe, they can become that third player. But on a very, very, very successful team. I think that Wiggins has potential to do it more so than Oubre. I think that Wiggins has always been a 20-point per game player in this league. He's averaged 19.7 for his career. It's pretty damn close. But now the difference between Wiggins nowadays and Wiggins of years past is that he's going to be doing it on a winning team. Don't underestimate the value of being in that great system, being in that winning atmosphere, and he'll in that role in Golden State. I think he's going to change the the aspects that the negative that everyone sees on him, the negative narrative that is Andrew Wiggins, that he's not really worthy. I think that he's still a great player. We've been talking about him since he was in high school here, and to me, in the right system, I see that team succeeding.
Hey, I mean, it's
with Klay Thompson going down.
Hey, I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, really the big knock is the fact that you say that he's never been in a winning culture. With Jimmy Butler, Towns, and him there, I believe they were a fifth seed. And if you're saying the Warriors are going to be a fifth seed, like he's had that opportunity.
That's not a culture though. That's not a long-standing culture that the team set in place.
No,
but that Minnesota team, they brought in one player, and that team was horrible. They did not get along.
No, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, this guy, like when we look at the other guys in the top 10, yes, Andrew Wiggins might put up more points per game, but in terms of being a difference maker, in terms of being in the crunch time, whenever it comes down to minutes, that's been Andrew Wiggins' knock. He's not an efficient shooter. A lot of the times when it comes down to winning at the end of the game, you are taking a three, and Andrew Wiggins isn't that guy who's going to hit it for you. He's a guy.
My thing with that Golden State team, there's not going to be that many clutch time minutes. I think they're going to be taking over teams.
I definitely don't. I mean, but with that being said, like it's possible. If you look at 22 games through November and December last year, Andrew Wiggins had, I believe it was just about 26 points per game. And he didn't.
He had the potential.
Yeah, like of course he does. It's just the facet of, like I said, shooting guard. Everyone above him is very good player as well. I think they're all pretty much improving too. And he just really, other than a scorer, he doesn't have much value. Yes, he's an okay rebounder, he's an okay passer. He's gotten better on the defense. He was one of the only shooting guards to put up a block and a steal last year. But again, that's also because he's getting in this situation. Yes, it's a deep position, but for certain statistics, he's getting the benefit of just being a big shooting guard or also playing the small forward position. Like he did start 24 games last year at small forward, and he was a lot worse when he started at small forward. At shooting guard, he had 24 points per game when he started. At small forward, he had, I believe, 19. So like it's a guy.
He's still good though.
Yeah, but it's a guy who he needs to play shooting guard to put up points, and I think that's because he's able to overpower guys there. Versus when guys actually fight back, Andrew Wiggins loses a lot of his desire to score, and that's a big fault for me.
All I know is that with Wiggins, I know that we know that he has the potential to get up there, but I can make an argument of the next 5 guys in our list. I can make an argument of why Wiggins is better. But I'm very happy that you ranked him lower, though. I'm very happy in a way because I want to put as much fucking fire in the pants of Andrew Wiggins this year to prove that he's a way better player than people are saying. Because I know that in his mind, he knows he's a better player than number 12 in the league. And I know that he knows, or number 12 in his position. Hell, in his mind, he knows he can be probably a top 30 player still. And I'm still of the mentality that he can still get up to that one day if he's given the right culture, the right system. Again, that's what he's gotten with the Warriors. And you're right, he's in Minnesota, he didn't look right. And he's small forward, maybe he's not quick, maybe he's not strong enough to go against the LeBron James. And probably that's hurt him in the past. But if he stays at shooting guard, and this year he will, Klay Thompson's hurt, he'll play shooting guard this year. And he'll be able to bully a lot of the guys that we have ranked ahead of him.
Hey, if he was 24, 25 per game, again, he did that 22 stretch through October, November, different discussion. So it just, he shows...
He just got to do it, right? We got to stop saying it's potential. He's got to do it.
Exactly. And that's just why I have him lower than he should. But if he doesn't, absolutely, I will agree. I would be wrong about his ranking.
I still think he's one of the best... he's going to be one of the best Canadian basketball players of all time. We're going to be watching him for the next 10 years. And he will get into that All-Star game. One day.
We will see.
But anyway,